Family, I am back. And this time I'm on a pedestal unrelated to Kim, but kinda not. I'm on a pedestal about a post I saw on Facebook, another small snippet of an interview of Leandria Johnson saying F the church. And the post basically said how the church lacks accountability, how the church is just letting anybody be a minister without any accountability. We lost basically. And so I was like, let me go find the full footage. Now, before I even get into it, let's just look at the footage that's in question.
3 years ago, Periscope. It's almost like you have given the gospel music industry one big F you because you are completely yourself and you're still on the road working.
Yeah.
And they have to hide who they are and you don't. And you still book.
Yeah. I would say now I was speaking to the religious part of it, the religion part of it, the traditional part of it. I still don't argue the fact of what I said.
You were right.
You know, I just shoulda, I wish I coulda did it sober.
Right, okay.
But maybe it wouldn't have came out like that
Right.
if I was sober. And I'm just being real. You know, what if I was sober? It probably would have still been, you know, a little pacified little moment. You know, but so who am I mad at?
It's the religious system.
The system.
Yeah.
So yeah. Fuck the religious system. I'm sorry. Can I get that out? I'm sorry. I mean, come on. I mean, you know.
I mean, what can you say to that? That's the snippet that I saw. And so, of course, we used to Leandra, and on the contrary of Kim Burrell, Leandra actually likes me. And I've hung out with Leandra, and Leandria is just as you see her online, that is who she is in person. She's humble, she's the sweetest person, and she's authentic and transparent. And I think that's what draws me to her. Now, my question is, what's the difference between like a her and a Kim? Kim gets flack for saying too much in a comical state, but she comes off, I've been told, as stuck up and, you know, etc. So we bash her. For those of us who love music, cannot denounce her gift. On the flip side, Leandria is truth, as Kim said about Brian Carnes. I think that's not true. I think that Leandra is truth personified because who she is who she is, and that's who she presents herself as. Now, the church on the same side is judgmental to her because she does, quote unquote, too much. And like she said there, F the religious system. Now, she said this before. What does that encompass? It encompasses, I think, the mindset of holiness is this, and if you're anything outside of this, then you can't be used. You are not holy. You're not saved. I mean, it's so. I think that's the religious system that puts us in a punished mindset. We're always punished. When I was young and saved, I was always afraid. Every Sunday I'd repent, and so I think it's the lack of freedom. So F that, but saying F that is harsh. So the church is mad at her for how authentically raw she is. But like Kim, you can't denounce, for those of us who like music, you can't denounce this gift in this woman. Now, both Kim and her critics say, just sing, don't talk. For her, it's just sing on the platform, don't show your real side. which one is right and which one is wrong? I mean, so this whole F thing. So it made me go back and find out the whole footage. I'm not a Larry Reed fan because I think he gaslights. I don't think he goes and gets all the truth. I think he hides gossip under the alleged, so you get to be alleged, but yet so I don't necessarily, I'm not a fan of him. There's nothing against him, but I'm just not a fan. Now, with that being said, this was an excellent interview. So I will leave the link in the description for you to go check out. Again, you subscribe to him if you want to. That's up to you. I just don't like it, but this was great, a great interview. So I'm going to hit bits and pieces and expound on those. So
just like, hey, God, I need you to deliver me from some things, like for real. Like, I need you to take certain things away from me. But I can be honest and say, I ain't really ready for you to take it away from me just yet. Not just yet, but I don't want to be forced to do it because somebody thinks that I should. I want to be able to say, man, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this no more. I'm getting there.
Okay.
I almost stopped smoking cigarettes yesterday, but something happened. Yes, something happened, Bishop. Something happened. Ended up back in my hand, So, but yeah, it's on the way, y'all. It's on the way. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
On the way.
okay, so this is why I love her, and this is why I think if you can't respect anything about this woman, you can respect her transparency. And I think it's an earnest thing. We all say this. Lord, I want you to deliver me from. Here's some things, not all things. There's some things that are detrimental to my health. There are some things that are detrimental to my sanity. Deliver me from those things. But there are some things that I kind of teeter-totter on that I like. That's what I think would attract the world, because the old church was brimstone. Love God, do right, or else you're going to hell. As opposed to loving God for who he is. And I'm not going to get into the cigarettes. I think that was funny, but it was real. And so again, it comes down to choices. So she said she wanted to be delivered in the time. It's like being on a diet, a crash diet. You get real slim and then you go back to it. So you're not really delivered from it. And being forced to do it because I want y'all to be proud of me. I want y'all to look up to me, or I want y'all to see me as certain things. That's not true deliverance. And I think that's where her authenticity comes in. And that's why I think she is being used and continues to be used, even for those who don't like her.
One of the things I love about you,
it's like, what other way can you be yourself and allow people to see the vulnerable you? Allow people to see that you that they tell you not to show.
you are us, but you just don't try to hide anything.
No.
You don't hide anything. You put it all out there.
But they want me to be a little more conservative, so I get it. If I'm having a couple of cocktails or something like that. I mean, I guess everybody don't need to see me drunk. But I have to also pay attention, just to let people know you don't have to be afraid to be around me.
Yeah.
You don't have to quote scriptures. You ain't have to do all that, none of that church stuff. Just, what's up? Hey, how you doing?
Right.
What you drinking?
Okay, now this place, this is like, it's so many things to talk about. Show the you that they tell you not to show. And that's why I think she gives the F to the religious system, because the religious system used to tell us that we have to present ourselves a certain way. And if we don't present ourselves that way, then the world will think that we're not real, because there's a difference between the world and us. Whatever your belief is, and so I wish this was a talk show and wish I had enough followers, but the question is that true? Because the problem is with that is, then you put whomever that is into the God factor in my mind. You put them into the, because like I have an issue with minstrels, in which is what she's talking about. You put minstrels on a pedestal. When you put them on a pedestal, then it's like, okay, I want to be like them. And then when you see them flawed, you're like, oh, then that does make you like, okay, I can't ever get this right, or there's nothing for me to look forward to. But if they come as she is, showing herself as I am flawed, this is me, I'm flawed, and I love him, and he's using me, then that's, to me, seems more attractive to the world, because it's like, okay, I don't have to get perfect. Oh, and he can love me and I can still be used. She talked about being more conservative. Everybody doesn't need to see her drunk. Now, that pulls back to, though I'm being 100% authentic, I'm also not being, I'm being aware. Now, my pastor, PDL, Paul David Landry, says that he cannot be in the presence of the Lord 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not possible. My old Kojic pastor was like, walk like me. If you're not holy, if you're not living holy, if you're not crossing the T's and dotting the I's, you ain't saved and you're going to hell. One is hard. So the other one is like, okay, even you. So you saying that you ain't perfect. So if I see the drink in his hand, I have no place to judge, because I'm like, okay, he said he wasn't perfect. So I think she comes from the authentic place of, like he said, you're us, so we get to see you. So I'm just reiterating what I said previously. And that's why we love her.
I did know that the alcohol thing had got out of hand.
It did get out of hand.
Yeah. So,
it did.
So was Iyanla Vanzant the reason why that you really were able to come out of how bad it was?
But she was true. A lot of people thought that she was just being her. No. Everything you saw with me and her was real. And it was true and it was authentic. And I really do thank her for that moment. I really do thank her for that moment.
Yeah, I thought that she was authentic and that she was real in that moment. I think what people thought, though, they thought that that moment meant you would never drink alcohol again.
No. No. I'm telling you, I thought that I was gonna, let me tell you, the reason why I say I thought, like, okay, I went from drinking Patron, I don't drink Patron anymore. I went from drinking Grey Goose, I don't drink Grey Goose anymore. And you know, people be around there talking about liquor is liquor, whatever. Yeah, liquor is liquor, but everybody like their particular. Patron was not good. Goose made me loose. You know, Tito's right now is a simple thing for me right now, and I don't feel, and I'm looking everybody in the eyes I can. Tito's is not a problem, but it's just something that I still do. But I'm learning on my own what's good for me when it's good for me, and what's not good for me when it's not good for me. Because when I say it's done, it's gonna be done.
Right.
Now, I thought I was still gonna be drinking, Larry, until my 70s.
Yeah.
Because see, I have family members in my family that are still drinking.
Yeah.
But nobody know they're drinking because the spotlight ain't on them.
Ah.
So they over there getting drunk, and they, you know, and they love God.
Yeah.
And they can give a word. They can do all of that, but ain't nobody talking about them.
Yeah.
It hurts to hear people say, well, every time I see her, every time I'm around her, she always drunk. That hurts. I don't be drunk every time people see me. You know, now, you know, percentage of the time, you know, when you catch me, you know, you never know. But be merry, huh? Be merry. I just be merry. That's all. I just be merry.
But see, I know you, so I know the growth. And I know that you're in control of your life now.
Yeah.
And that's holiness.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great to see how holy you've become.
Talk about that now. People think holiness is,
Yeah.
talk. Talk about that. He just blessed me. Yes, sir. Yes,
Again, the
sir.
transparency. Alcohol had gotten the best of me. And rather than denounce it and hide it because I'm trying to put up a face for the church and for the people and for whomever, I'm going to tell you the truth. Alcohol was the thing. And so we all got to see that play out in her life on Ayanna Van Zandt and so on and so forth. One of the things I've always said is you cannot address what you oppress. And so I think the church of old, the religious system of old said, by faith, turn. My old school pastor was like, run. Whenever you come into a temptation, run from it. So running from it never allowed me to address it. So if my temptation is this pen, running from this pen, the next time I see this pen, guess what? It's still gonna be a temptation because I never addressed it. We keep running. Address it. Run. Address it. So she's addressed her situation about, like she said, there was a problem, but Ayanna helped her face it. But she will still drink again. Now, I think the medicinal side of it is to know levels. So, like she said, Patron made her do this. Goose made her do this, but Tito's is a safe place. You know, I have a friend who was going through a drug addiction issue, and so I thought the outcome of it, his meth addiction, I thought the outcome would be they would say no more meth. But they are slowly weaning him off the meth by giving him a little bit, a little bit, and after a while, you won't want it. And so I think that's the methodology to it. But she knows her vices. She knows which one is going to take her. And I think that's where we all can learn a lesson from her. And that's why I think this is ministry, because the old school way was to just not talk about it, not address it. That's how come we have child molesters in the church. That's how come we have sexual abuse in the church. That's why we have folks getting beat in the church, because folk never address. You run. So I think this is very good. And she addresses one other thing, kind of the double life. Shoot my brains out because I'm so depressed. I'm so upset, but I can't tell you because I want to put up a good face, because if I tell you, then you're going to, because I'm on a pedestal to you. But she knows people in her family that have been ministers, that have lead the double lives, and are still ministers. But they're not under the spotlight so that they don't have to necessarily address it. They can continue to oppress it. So he made an interesting point where he said, you being able to address your issues and you're changing slowly is holiness. I dare do a play on words and say that is wholeness. So though in our term from the religious system, holiness is what it's a certain thing. But that, I think, where she is and where some people are is wholeness. Now, I am whole because I take accountability for what I am, for where I am, who I am, what I am, and I'm giving. It's like the David with the thorn. Here's my thorn. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away. No, I'm not going to take it away. This is what you're going to be, because it's going to keep you closer to me. Oh, okay. So I accept it and I'm whole in it because this is what you put in me to buffet me, to keep me where I need to be. So I'm whole. Wholeness. So that's an amazing point that he made. One of the few that I say.
That you are the best female singer out right now.
Oh, wow.
And it's not because I know you and like you. It's just the truth. I watch and I pay attention to everything. And the person who really told us this prophetically was Kim Burrell. On Sunday Best, she said, it was the Clark sisters, Kim Burrell, then she said Leandria Johnson. And
I feel like I'm one of the best.
okay.
One of the best, only because I had to stand on the shoulders of the Kim Burrells, the Clark sisters, the Dorinda Clark Coles, and I don't want to keep naming, but can I be the best in my business? See? I'm real, right? Okay. I would like to be the best in my business. I don't want to be the best just in my voice.
I got you.
I want to be the best in my business, because if I was the best in my business, I'll be singing before the queen. But because my business is not intact, I can't go before the queen.
Right.
But it's coming.
Right.
Now,
It's
this
coming.
part is very interesting because it shows her humility. And I guess this is where some would say she would differentiate herself from the Kim, because Kim does come off as Kim knows how gifted she is, and y'all ain't ready for this, or y'all don't want this, or and this young lady is like kind of hankering down. Oh, but I thank you and I appreciate you, and then in her humility, it's still transparent. Well, if I am the best in my singing, then I want more improvement for me to be best in my business, because I can still be better. I know some artists who don't see themselves as needing work. She does, and she said it. And so I can respect that. And then, and which makes her, again, makes her like us, makes her touchable, because it's like, you don't come off as a perfect person. You don't come off as, I have arrived because my voice is amazing and I can do what y'all can't do. But you come off as, though my voice is amazing, I still got work to do. It just makes her more lovable, dare I say, because she's transparent.
I think
Let's
you
move on.
make a wonderful pastor.
But I thought about
This is my suggestion.
doing it again, but I don't
This
know.
is what
man.
you do. You ain't, church is different now. You can do it Lily's way. You can say 4 times a year, we're going to meet, and I'm going to have a meeting. And then you can hire a second pastor who may do the weekly prayer or may do that online, but physically have service with your members a few times a year.
Wow.
You can do it your way, the way that works for you, but I know that there are women who will follow your ministry and look to you.
Wow.
I know they
wow.
will.
Wow.
Okay, this is the part where I'm like, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion. This is the part where I don't like his opinion, because he's more of a gaslight. There is no way that this sister can be a pastor. And it's not because she's a woman. It's not because of any of the foolishness. But a pastor, a pastor is basically married to the congregation. He said the church world has changed. You can pastor 4 times a year. You can do it your way. The hell? What? You can pick somebody else to be the pastor the other times. Then what? That's not pastor. There's nothing to do with being a pastor. That is to do with being an evangelist. You can be a traveling evangelist, because he's right. The women will follow her ministry, and they are. But to be a pastor, no. It has nothing to do with her heart, because I think she's sincere. But if she ever decides to stop traveling and so on and so forth, then I think she can be a pastor, because then a pastor is the shepherd. And you can't be a shepherd over your flock if you're not the shepherd over your flock. But you're not.
This show. Is that something you will ever consider again?
I would, without any limitations, meaning still being able to see the raw me, but I don't want to be in a place where everybody couldn't eat from what I was bringing to the table. You know, I would want to be able to feed correctly.
Okay.
You know, if that makes sense. You know, because everybody ain't ready for a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, true.
You
The
know.
transparency that comes with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you will make great reality TV.
Wow.
Oh my Lord.
I'm gonna have to get
I
the
will watch every week.
wow. I'm gonna have to get the writing then.
There's a contradiction. So you want her to be a pastor and then a reality TV person. Pastor, reality TV. Now, though I do not put my pastor on the pedestal, but I don't want to go home with him. Just to be clear, meaning I don't want to see him at his home environment. And if I do go to his home environment for a house gathering, I want to be able to leave because his personal life is his personal life. So being a reality person, that's contradictory to being a pastor to me. This is my opinion. Now, she did say an interesting point, which I think speaks to her pastoring. She says everybody can't eat from what's being served of me if I'm being 100% transparent and on TV. So if I'm on TV, then they can't be eating what I'm serving them because they see me at my most rare place. A cut up every once in a while is different than sending you every week in your vulnerability and your naked place. So I'm not being contradictory to what I said. I don't mind a person being transparent. There is a limit. I do think there is a limit. There is a limit. So let's move
See,
on.
I cuss. I cuss a lot.
Oh, I know.
But I don't want to be out there just cussing a lot.
Listen, let me explain.
You
Hold
know
on,
what
let
I'm
me
saying?
help you.
Y'all get what I'm
I don't
saying?
want you to do the reality TV you used to do. We want the cussing. Reality TV. That's what. If you can't do it the way that you are, I don't think you should do it because you're not just cussing and whatever. You have a relationship with God that is very real and authentic.
Yeah.
And I think that all of that is a ministry.
It is. It is. I just want to, they gotta get more from me than just the cussing.
Right.
You know, I just want them to understand why I am cussing if I'm a cuss. That's all I want them to do, you know, and then we just go from there.
The
And,
right team.
Okay,
I
so this part is where he contradicts himself. He wants her to get out there and make a fool of herself. Get out there and be overly drunk, see me at my worst. No, be transparent and say, I do have a worst. Here is my worst. I may be drunk sometime is one thing, but to see me in a reality show every week, no. And that's why you can't be a pastor. Now, she mentioned everybody can't eat from what's being served. I cuss. So I want them to see why I cuss, but I don't. It's like being too close. I can show you me without showing you all of me. So y'all forgive me for being long-winded, but there was a lot to cover. But I just wanted to give clarity to the excerpt and to give more context to what she was saying. She didn't just say it just to say it. It was more depth to it. So hopefully you got something out of it. And yeah, I think it was a great interview. I don't agree with some of the latter parts, but I do think it was a great interview. So y'all go check it out. And I love Leandra. I love Kim for her gift. I love Leandria's gift and her humility because I see myself in her and she is touchable. And I think her future is so bright. So keep them both in your prayers. God bless Kim. God bless Leandria. God bless you. God bless me. And like, share, subscribe, comment, and until we meet again, may God be with you. Bye.